thing. So yesterday I raised two MRs regarding jQuery. So the jQuery, let me just maybe share, at least part of my screen, MRs by me. So I was really positively astonished. So I created this MR that just moves the two of the jQuery plugins, like the add who and the scroll to the pages where it's used, right?
Okay.
So same idea. I think we did it earlier with the jQuery wait for images, right? One actually won't do anything because it's used in the, hi David, it's used in the GitLab flavored markdown. So it's still loaded in main.js, but actually jQuery scroll to will do something and just be loaded on those pages where it's used. Tests are passing. And funnily enough, we don't use it in that many pages. We just seem to be using it in, like, I don't know, how many files did I touch with this one? We just use it in 5 places. So like the effort to replace it will be like really low, right? But while I was doing that, I found like these horrendous, because I thought, hey, once we move those, I wanted to check, because we have the window.jQuery and window.dollar assignment, right? And I was like, hey, maybe we can remove it. But then I stumbled about these awful things.
Yes.
So like, oh, see, it's evil. It has 666 bytes. Like some like JavaScript that is rendered based on ERB files. And so this is, for example, for saving the preferences, like the user preferences, if you change like the themes and stuff.
There's a bunch of these, and they're not linted because they're not JavaScript files, and they're not compiled in any sense. You can't use Babel stuff or ES6 syntax. I guess you can now because we've dropped most of the browsers that don't support it, but like it's just bad. It's just a bad idea to have this.
Yeah, it's the same thing, because the second MR that I raised yesterday was removing Flash on the window object, right? Similar idea, like we have this deprecated Flash thing. Yeah. And we even had sometimes still had global Flash, and I just searched for those and was like, hey, we just have 2 global Flash, so let's remove it and the linter will find everything. And then obviously the pipeline breaks if you remove it from window Flash exactly because of this, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I don't have a good solution for that stuff.
The problem is too, it's hard to hard to even find it all. I guess we could, because there are some of these where it's like strictly like .js.erb, but there's also, I mean, there's nothing stopping anyone from putting like a script tag in the middle of any random HAML file. And I think we do that in a couple of places.
Yeah, for example, this one here, right? Like, oh, wow. I love these commits, like update.js.haml. Yeah.
7 years ago. So it's hard to, yeah. We didn't really have a robust front end team 7 years ago, so it's hard to blame Dimitri.
No, I don't want to blame Dimitri. It's just like, I also don't understand how these update.js, these are just conditionally rendered based on this, right? Based on the remote true, right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oof. This is like, I just wonder whether it makes sense to go through all of these and remove jQuery from it, because then we can remove our global jQuery. Because to be honest, like, hey, this has been working for, 7 years.
I mean, I think the better ultimate solution is to remove this embedded JavaScript and put it in a page-specific JavaScript file. I mean, I don't know. If we're going to take the effort to refactor these, how much more effort is it to just move it?
Yeah.
I had an issue about that. Well, I didn't create this issue. Apparently, this is a 2-year-oldish issue from one of our former team members. And
I just wanted to say, is it by disabled account?
no. There isn't actually a name behind the name.
I know Bryce opened a whole bunch of issues way back in the day.
No, this was by Connor. Do you remember Connor?
Ah, Connor. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see Connor from time to, I never had the pleasure with Connor because I joined after he left the company, and I was always like, I see his name popping up either in commit messages or like in the licenses, dependency licenses stuff, because apparently he approved a bunch of them back in the day, and it's like you look through it and it's like, I approved the MIT license, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently this is of interest to many product managers across GitLab because of the potential risk of actually missing some escape JavaScript or something. So they kind of want to prioritize this and have engineers of each team move these files to its corresponding bundle.
Oh wow, that's really great. I mean, okay. How can we support this? Does it make sense to create issues for him?
Let me post the issue on the document so you can take a look at it.
Let me just find the document.
Perhaps we just update this 2-year-old issue, add a little like checklist of each of the instances. There's only about a dozen, right? At least the ones that we found.
Wait, let me quickly close all the stuff that I don't want to have on the recording, like my calendar and so on. And then I can share all my emails. Or what else? Maybe do I have no private? Slack is always a bad one. Calculator might reveal like, I don't know what a calculator might reveal. Okay, new share. Let me share all of my screen. This should be fine. You know, GitLab. Find, and I just searched for JS Hamel or ERP. Yeah, it's not that many, right? Like how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Too many to count. 17.
Should we also check for just scripts tags within Hamel? There might be some of those as well.
Is it like these are the plain thingy, right? Like the, what is happening? Why is my computer? Ah, Zoom share. What? Boop, boop, boop. Beach ball of death.
Oh.
Okay. This is interesting. RubyMine.app, like this. Ah. Okay. Pre-grep.
A lot of the script tags I'm looking at are basically just ways to inject raw JSON data to pass to the front end from the back end. And I suppose that's an acceptable use. I just want to make sure that there isn't any of this like, you know, using jQuery to do something.
I mean, one of the things that one can probably use is like, we could search for like actual dollars in Hamel files.
Yeah.
Oof. And then at least we find like some, these are all the, what? Source branch, HTML. So wait, is this creating like HTML safe stuff that is then used in a view template? Oh, wow.
There are a few instances of using X template, X dash template on a couple of HAML views, like the what's it called? The issue boards. The issue boards use the X dash template to declare view.
They use the runtime view template compiler, and that's been another long-standing issue that we have to take care of sometime. Also, it'll reduce the size of our view library that we load by about half, I think. So that would be nice to get rid of. Also, I'm not even sure if the next version of Vue includes the runtime compiler or not.
Oh wait, this
so it might affect our ability to upgrade.
I updated the list below because there's a bunch of files that do not apply anymore. There's a comment like down right below.
But these are like HTML HAML. What's about the JS stuff?
Well, those ones are.
Wait, these ones are evolved by JavaScript?
Some of them were. Some of them were updated not to do evals anymore. But there's some risk of leaving them like that.
So like this is rendering stuff, and oh gosh, this is like, how does one even go about these? Like
the debugging code that's generated by other code is just the worst. That's why the issue boards is such a quagmire. I don't think anyone's wanted to tackle it yet.
I think issue boards are on a good progress. If I recall correctly, we migrated a few for the Karma to Jest efforts, and we just migrated a few to Vue. Yeah. But these ones, like, what can we do about it? Like this is just to show some modal, right?
Yeah.
What render shortcuts. Like what? Shortcuts HTML HAML. Wait, this is for the normal shortcut question mark thingy?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, wow. It's actually broken? Oh, what?
Arrow up just isn't rendering correctly.
The thing is that we remove phone awesome, so remember that there is no FA.
Yes, it's funny, but there is one. There's actually one. This should then already be a GitLab UI icon.
It should, but it
no,
isn't.
because merge request. I noticed because one of my two team members merged. Moment wording. What is his username a different one? Ah, it's assigned. I wondered why he doesn't have that many author username.
I was gonna say it looked like he had only authored 6 merge requests in total, which didn't seem right.
But it's replaced here. So, and the code says, did he replace it in the keyboard? Yeah, it should be sprite icons. Like, it's weird. Is it maybe like a canary, non-canary thingy? Yeah, it's in canary. But what? Why am I getting stuff that's canary and stuff that's not canary? Maybe the keyboard shortcuts are not in the scope of canary. Anyway, doesn't matter too much. Yeah. Okay. But in this case, for example, this one would be pretty easy to move because we just render the shortcuts from the HTML or from a HAML, and then this even makes no sense at all. Like
the thing is that we have the template on HAML, and then the template is rendered. Well, it's called by JavaScript. So we will have to move this model to Vue.
I just don't understand why we're even like, so it's rendering this server side and embedding it as a string, which then gets appended to the body. Like, why not just render
Get
it
to the body
directly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Is it doing that, you know, via an AJAX call? So if I'm
No, this is all back in, well, server side rendered.
Yeah, but the question is like, what happens if I hit question mark? Does it do anything? Like, if I hit yeah. See?
Oh, okay.
It just happens when I hit question mark, it sends a request.
Oh, so this is okay.
What? Where's the response? Response payload. Yeah. So this is basically deferred rendering, right? Awful deferred rendering. But yeah, I mean, especially in this case, it should be pretty easy because we would just need to move this file into a view template, which has nothing server rendered, which should be pretty easy, right? Because we have translations. Oh, browser platform Mac. So this is an ugly one, but should be doable somehow. Like, I think we already saved that in the DOM, right? Whether you're on a Mac or not. Like, don't we have like something like window gone platform or something like that?
We have other places where we show like the command symbol instead of option or whatever it is in Windows.
I definitely saw code the other day that does this, like script nonce. Window GL is Mac. Yes. So it's window.gl is Mac. No, what? Wait a second. Window GL client. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think this could be movable, but now that would turn into a pairing session if we just do that, right? Shortcuts JS. This is so weird. Like, how do we call it actually? I mean, how do we do that request? Like, what triggers this?
Good question.
See if RubyMine is happy. Shortcut. No, it's shortcut.js, right?
Under behaviors, we have init page shortcuts. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah, and there's a merge request that literally touches that file by Tim. Shortcuts. Code splitting shortcut JS for reduction. Import from shortcuts. So.
No, wait, this is actually initializing the shortcuts themselves, not the modal that tells you about them.
Okay.
But anyway.
But the question mark on toggle help. Right? Because the shortcut disenabled help. Disenabled help? What? Shortcuts modal trigger.
On toggle.
Click more help. Yes. So apparently we have a keyboard shortcuts help.
Yeah, so it's saved to gone.shortcuts_path. And there's just an Axios request to grab that.
Okay. Oh wow! And then we do a global eval of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You know what, folks? I don't know. This is a pretty interesting. I think we could do the shortcuts one, unless someone else wants to talk about something. We could just do it. What do you think? Should we do it and leave the world a little bit better?
Yeah, let's do this one.
Yes! Woo! New file shortcuts help.view.
I don't want to like shed this while we're here because we just want to fix this one problem, but like, couldn't there be a way to have the front end, since we're doing all this initialization of the actual shortcuts, have a way for it to just generate the shortcuts help menu from all of that at the same time, and then we have a single source of truth for our shortcuts?
I mean, we use Mousetrap, and the thing with Mousetrap is that Mousetrap binds whatever, like it gets called once globally, and then you can start binding multiple shortcuts later. So I remember doing that for the metrics dashboard, where I actually used Mousetrap to add a couple of shortcuts to the metrics dashboard. And when I added the extra ones on to the shortcuts menu, they don't show up. You have to add those manually to the HTML.
Yeah, oh, that's what I'm saying is like maybe we create a way where like some wrapper method where like when you bind a keyboard item, like a keyboard shortcut, it will both actually do the binding with Mousetrap, but it'll also store that in some array of like, here's our list of bound shortcuts. And then when you hit the question mark, that will be just generated from those.
I mean, that sounds doable, but
like I said, this is out of the scope of what we're doing right now. I just thought like that might be a nice improvement.
We'll have to grab for every single shortcut.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they're all here under behaviors/shortcuts, but maybe there's some page-specific ones that are just not captured in this list.
The web ID also has some Mousetrap bindings too.
So how do we convert this best? Modal header.
So this Axios thing, I suppose, right now it uses dawn.shortcuts path. Let's have that point to just a HAML template that's the rendered shortcuts stuff, like the HTML itself rather than a JavaScript file.
Why don't we just, because it's a static file, move it like to view or something?
We could do that too. Yeah.
This is our normal translation thingy, right? Class close. So this is times, right? Okay, times area hidden. Okay, so I assume that, you know, modal header, we probably can even use the GitLab UI modal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is like horrible, horrible JavaScript, right? Like really horrible. Translation simply like this, right? Like, sorry if I haven't been writing Vue for a longer period. Yeah, like this. Okay.
Yeah, that should work.
Yeah, this is annoying. Isn't there a more efficient way to do this? Like,
I mean, you could try and cobble together a regular expression to do a search and replace and make this faster, but
I don't know. It's like copy path. Where is the path? copy. Let's just overwrite this file. You mean regular expression? I mean, you're on the right way, right? Like,
I'm not super familiar with RubyMine, but in VS Code, I can just do a find and replace and use regular expressions to target like these TD tags. It looks like.
Yeah, exactly. I think at least for the TD tags, it looks reasonable to do. Basically everything that happens in the body. Like, okay, let's copy everything that happens in here. Modal body. Oh gosh. Now why does it break the thing?
I would have started with the copy you had that was just the rendered copy and just done regular expressions on that. I mean.
Okay. TD. Boop. Oh, it's funny. Okay, these are the headlines, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the rendered stuff looks good, right? So we can just use the. Oh wait, by the way, I'm on the wrong branch, aren't I? No, it's just not updated. Git pull. Tap. And we can replace this by TD, and then it will be hitting the right keys, this, and we obviously need also the curly brackets, right?
Yeah. Oh, you just replaced all the THs with TDs.
Ah, yes, you're right. So, okay, Shift L, Shift I. Okay, so this is interesting because essentially we need to replace the okay, I have an idea.
You could probably just create a what you call it? Wow, I'm drawing a blank. In view, the computed property that's just like platform specific.
Yeah.
Role character or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, it doesn't even have to be computed, right? Could just be like, oh, that's super interesting because it's also like return. What was it like? Window GL client is Mac.
Yeah.
So the problem is that now it's HTML, right? So let's maybe find that character because, we are in UTF-8 mode, so should be fine, right? To just do this. And then we can replace this with that. Looks good. Okay. Oof, now it wants all of those contents to be marked for translation, like N, B. Sounds like a good use case for our improving our linter, that key BD should not be translated, right?
Well, for now, we could do an ESLint disable or something.
Okay. So this will be shift GL icon Okay. How many of those do we have? Oh gosh. Why is this like, ah yeah, okay, this looks better. Okay. So it's just the same. So it's just like GL icon, and then we have this. Okay, whatever. Okay, GL icon, and then its name, right? And then equals, and just like that. Okay, obviously self-closing, replace, 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 replace. Oh, okay, replace all. GL icon, shift. Maybe we can. Oh, wow. I don't think we want to translate them, right? We probably, what's the rule's name? Oh, what? What is happening? Okay, nothing is happening.
I don't know because I don't use international keyboards, but do they translate things like shift and enter, or is it kind of just a universal thing?
No.
Yeah, in German, you would, for example, say Umschalt, which is like switcher for shift.
Okay.
Yeah, but everyone should understand shift, and maybe we can then translate it in one go. But we definitely don't translate J.
Right.
I mean, the only one, at least from my Spanish keyboard, is the caps lock. That's the only one that is translated. That and delete. The other ones remain the same.
Okay. Yep. So how is this rule called? Oh, so we actually have a bug in our implementation. This is good to know. But I was interested in this rule because then we can just be like ESLint disable and this, right? And then we should be happy about that rule. We find this is our problem. So let's maybe backslash it and be fine, right? And merge tags. Okay. So this looks good to me. Like this should work. Now the question is like, how would we show it, right? If it's a GitLab modal, like in this shortcuts function that does the shortcuts path, right?
Yeah, well, we could just do a dynamic import.
Yes. Then so you're saying we just do return import shortcuts help, right? Then default shortcuts help essentially, oh, this needs more brackets, right? And then we just do return new view, and we maybe const
View can actually handle all the promise evaluation stuff that's on its own. If we just register the component and like we normally would, and pass it a function that returns a promise, so you can just pass it an import, dynamic import.
Yeah, you're right. So you would basically be like return new view.
Yeah.
Document create element const L, and we just do L. Oh God, how now how do we do this? Components would be.
I guess, is there a mounting point that we should, that exists in the, I don't know. So we're just going to create an element that's like prepended to body or postpended. How do we do this with modals generally that are dynamically added?
I don't know.
Probably good enough to just do that.
Shortcuts help. So you're saying we're doing something like this?
Yep.
Shortcut help dot view. Okay, I'm just commenting this out because whatever, right? And then we just do a render function.
Yeah.
The question is like, how do you reference this in a render function if it's imported that way?
Just shortcuts help. Same way that you find it when you register it. Yeah.
Like this? But it's now undefined, right?
A string.
Ah.
It could actually just be like the kebab case that we use everywhere else, as if you were rendering it in a template.
Ah. Shortcuts.
It'll work either way, but maybe this is more consistent. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we just do this, right? New view element, is it written like this or is it like element? Is it just EL?
It's EL. It's just EL.
Okay, so we comment this out. And then I am not the smartest person sometimes, so I could have GDK started like ages ago in the background, right? And what's really interesting though is like init toggle button, because look what init toggle button actually does. So we have a view app within a view app, which is the toggle button that's at the top here. So at least here we can then use a real import, right? So let's maybe just do that. Import shortcuts toggle from shortcuts toggle dot view. Then we have this as components shortcuts toggle, and here we would just use shortcuts toggle, and that's it, right? Then we don't need init toggle button. We don't need the nonsense. Sorry. Axios and shortcuts. So what else did we do here? Ooh, location length. What's location? Like this piece is a little awkward.
Yeah, what is going on there?
Toggle help location. I have a feeling, and this is just like location. So wait, location length, results push, reach, location, return results.
So
What?
this, yeah, it will return results from that then, and then it'll pass it into init toggle button. So init toggle button might take results of this location array in as a parameter.
Maybe it would have been good to have the GDK running before we do something like this. Close other tabs. Whee! There was probably nothing important open.
Famous last words.
Yeah, famous last words.
Yeah, I don't know if anything is actually done with that.
Location.
So it compiles this results array using location, but it does nothing with it.
Yeah, it does. Look, results push location e show. So I assume that some of these might be hidden.
Oh, I didn't see show. Yeah, so
it might be that we have like certain, like the wiki stuff or whatever, that is just shown conditionally or was shown conditionally. Shortcut mappings.
Perhaps the console log will be in order, just to figure out which ones are shown, which ones are not.
Yeah. Oh, request ran longer than. That's always good. GDK let me. Oh, location is defined but never used. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying we should do this and not do that, right? If modal length, okay. Oh, come on. Ah, user sign in. This is a good sign. At least the redirect is correct. And compiling is successful. Do I have anything else? Yeah, maybe I should close the other browser. Often helps. Ah, yes. I actually caused this bug. It's also a fun one, is like back when we had the CE split, we had green favicons for EE and blue favicons for CE. But I assume no one is ever seeing the blue favicon in development, so we can now probably just get rid of that distinction. Anyway, so question mark, does this work? Okay. Axios is not defined. Yes, because I removed it. Let me unremove.
Axios used somewhere else in this file?
Nope. Let's maybe just discard these changes for now, and also the init toggle button ones. Okay. Shortcut helps view. Okay, recompiling. Okay, question mark. Axios is not defined. It's now there. Here, Axios. Yeah, typing in the console, question mark. You know, maybe we should sell the Frontend Foundation hours as pair programming sessions, and then more people would join. Yeah. Okay, so we wanted to do some console logging, right?
Yes.
So we want to console log results, console log location maybe. I think a data is good. Data. Log. And results. Do we need to log anything else?
I don't think so.
Recompiling. Oh, wow. Okay, this seems to be, so the location is empty. It's the JavaScript essentially. Location, yeah, location is empty. So obviously results, nothing happens, right? Toggle help.
What happens if you go to the web ID? Will location will be populated?
Oh, this is a good question. How do I get to the web IDE the fastest? Probably like here and clicking open web IDE. I also am confused because we have this other shortcuts stuff, like here in the behaviors, like for example, merge projects issues, right? Projects issues new. So projects issues new. So new project. Web ID you're saying, and I'm saying new projects. Yeah, project name question mark. Okay, this looks exactly the same to me. So doesn't do anything to the help. Yeah, this is, and this does just the same thing, right? Wait, is this a different help than this one? Like, looks the same to me. Ah, just the colors are, dark mode colors are broken, but not our concern, right? So I don't know what this location thing does. Is it tested somewhere? Or should we just go back in history?
I really don't think it does anything. I'm looking at this and, well, no.
So let's, what was the shortcut again? T, right? Okay.
So it's looking for a class that is the same as location.
So
I don't see any unique classes in this.
But when was this introduced? Like, I assume that this stuff is like, huh, okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt, Mike. It seems like you run pretty on it. Convert shortcuts to use Axios. I give Phil also did not exist. Oh, but why? So it probably goes back to ES65 all the things. So
which means we'll end up finding a CoffeeScript file with the source of this in it.
Oh, this is like okay, let's go to the parent commit. Okay, so view file add. Now we should find some shortcuts. Shortcuts dot JS coffee, right? Oh wow, how is the search so performant? Even wow, it's just
a really ancient commit. Yeah,
that's for a really ancient commit, like it's super okay, right? Okay, location toggle help Modal.
Alfredo, I haven't seen him in a long time.
Right.
So
location, awesome shortcuts. Oh, Robert, he's still around. Location, L show in location, like awesome shortcuts. I assume that these awesome shortcuts are like, okay, mousetrap Rails. When shortcuts and so on. Okay, do we have anything with location? Show help location, window location.
So location was passed to show help before. I don't think the later incarnations do that.
I mean, there is the show help. My assumption would be that the show help doesn't work in all places, or wasn't back then, wasn't working in all places, right? That like, hey, no, 4L in location. Like this makes no sense. Like show help. Ah, shortcut. even here, it's not passing anything to show help. Add enabled help. So this is the location, right? What's add enabled help? Hidden shortcut projects. So do we still have these things somewhere? Like, yes, see here, they have classes here, like hidden shortcut and so on. I think this doesn't do anything anymore. Like, because here they have a hidden shortcut, and if you're like on a page, if you're on a merge request or if you're on the issuable, you're loading the special stuff, and then you're showing them, right? So I assume that if we actually look at the HAML file, like master-wise, and we look at the history of that one, probably someone removes this. Fix display, set basic, update styling for modal titles. Okay. Web shut, cut the docs, modal with. Improve performance bar, fix shortcuts. Oof. People touch that file more often than I thought. Sometimes, you know, sometimes commit messages that would be helpful. I mean, we could do a bisect and find out, but I'm 90% sure that this is not used anymore.
Yeah, I am too.
Like, we can search again, but there's no hidden here. There's like no class selection or anything, right? I assume that this is just an artifact from back when. Okay, let's try it out the other way.
I think you still need to create the element, don't you?
Yes, I have to create the element. You're right. This is an interesting path down history. Hey, we just need 17 more weeks if we do one every week. I am not. Hey, look, it works.
Nice.
Right. Just a couple of unescaped template strings, but.
What? Why? Ah,
because you didn't register GL icon.
Obviously, I didn't. Import GL icon from GitLab UI. GL icon. Oh, this time I even should get hot module reloading. Does it even work with dynamic imports? Would be interesting to know. Yes, it did. Kinda. I mean, this works. I mean,
you need to also use parentheses for control character.
Parentheses for control character? What do you mean?
For the computer property, you're calling control character as just a prop. Like you go down to the template.
Oh, you did a no, go back. the
I did a
we have
search
the
and replace
Unicode
and
thing.
replaced it
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, yes.
Command icon Mac Unicode. I want to. Yes. By the way, control, for example, would be something that is translated in German. We call it Steuerung, STRG. So like literally like control, but in German.
Oh.
Yeah.
So maybe that should be a translation string as well then.
But maybe in the future. I mean, to be honest, yeah. I don't know. It's like people. Oh wait, what's happening? Why doesn't it work? Wait. Question mark. Also, the removal of itself will be funny, right? Like here we have the modal. We add the modal. So on toggle help. So this does modal, which we would not want to do. Like this is the only part of the logic that's a bit, like, wait, why isn't it working anymore? Do we get like a compilation error or something? No. I mean, it just worked a second ago, didn't it?
Yeah. Not imagining it.
I'm not, right?
Still saying recompiling, or is that, I don't know.
It's weird because I'm typing a question mark, like toggle help.
So we can add a console.log and see what happens. There's so many S's in that console.
Yeah. Okay. Recompiling. I'm just going to close the other two tabs because probably takes more time than needed. Nothing happens. Oh, I have a bad feeling. Like, let's go. Wait, shortcuts.js. Oh, this is bad. I think this was just merged. If page, and page doesn't include page with custom shortcuts. Okay. So this is the other way around. So projects, groups, show, which page are we on? Like, could have had a look into the, let's try it here. Nothing is happening. Like, am I somehow?
Did you rebase recently, or why would a recent change have changed brokenness?
I just pulled earlier, but it was just like working a second ago, right? Like,
so the binding itself just isn't working because you're checking the init toggle that happens after this mousetrap bind, right?
Yeah, initialized. Let's just log that. Sidebar collapsed, yeah, whatever. I mean, it should tell us, say, it's funny because it doesn't initialize the shortcuts on the project's show page.
Mhm.
So wait, which one would be okay? Like, let's go to this page. This page is like projects.
Because why are we disabling the shortcuts on that page?
Yes, this is a really good question. Like, okay, but it works. And we have the shortcuts, right? I don't know what the toggle is supposed to do, if it's like supposed to, yeah. I mean, it's super weird. It's like, hey.
Are these pages that have specific shortcuts related to them, and maybe we don't want to show a menu that might not encompass that, all the shortcuts that should, I don't know. Maybe they have a different help menu that they're trying to bind.
Wait, let's have a look. So this is the normal one, right? Now let's maybe go to, so these shortcuts extend the normal shortcuts. But that should mean like some are probably not doing that, right? Shortcuts navigation, shortcuts projects. It's super weird, like, because what are the project specific shortcuts? Like global shortcuts, project, GC, navigation, shortcuts navigation. So these are like those, right? Shortcuts navigation. Okay. Where are they used? These are used on oh wow, on a lot of pages. Extends shortcuts. But if this is the constructor and it just extends the constructor and it's called, it should do the thing, right?
Yeah, it's
like
super.
It's calling super. Like what? Console log what? Like, I think we just broke shortcuts in that other MR. Like because creating a new issue should just be I, right? Like, hey.
Yeah.
Index. Where's this all like? Project boards, project commit show, project commits. So if we're now not importing the shortcuts, what? Now it's doing it? No. What? Shortcut navigation. It's doing the thing, but it's not doing the thing. This is like super weird. Shortcut navigation from shortcuts. It's like super weird that it's not doing the thing anymore, right? Like mousetrap bind.
What was the purpose of the change? That modify this behavior?
Yes, I know now. So this change should be fine. You know what my assumption is?
What's that?
No, it makes no sense that it's suddenly broken, but like so the purpose of this change is not to, before it was importing shortcuts every time and just sometimes not initializing them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not initializing them. You know what my assumption
So
actually is?
It's now a dynamic import? Is that what's happening
Yes.
here?
Yes.
Who made this change? Was this one of Tim's things?
Yes.
Okay.
It should be fine. You know what my assumption though is? Like mousetrap. Ugh, expose. Why go away? My assumption actually is that this change, together with that change, like an update in mousetrap, doesn't do the thing anymore. Let me just try out like one tiny thing, like in the shortcuts. What happens if we are like mousetrap equals mousetrap. Yes. My assumption is that the second mousetrap import actually overrides the first one.
Yeah, it's possible, yeah. Well, I'm actually not sure, because unless the module is duplicated between chunks, it should still be referencing the same.
Which it could be in development mode, right?
Yeah, that could be. The hot module replacement might be messing with that too.
Nope. Like, this is super confusing. Like, mouse trap bind, like it's clearly binding the thing, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe Mousetrap has an API where we can just like have it print all the existing bindings or something. We can do a sanity check there.
Now it's not working here anymore.
Yeesh.
Wait, Mousetrap. We're now looking at Mousetrap APIs, right? Like Mousetrap.
Let's see, here's the blah, blah, blah. API reference, bind, unbind, trigger, add key codes. I don't know if there is a way to just, doesn't look like there's a public API to list existing bindings.
What do we have here? Bind, handle key, init, pause, prototype, trigger, reset, stop, callback, target, trigger, unbind, unpause. Like, I mean, what else did we change? Maybe one of my changes broke a thing or something, right? Like,
well, I don't get it. It was working perfectly fine. Well, I guess, I don't know. I don't even remember the order of events now. That contribution graph looks really odd in dark mode.
yeah, a lot of things look odd in dark mode. But why is it not working? Like, makes no sense at all. It's even initializing the thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Are no keyboard bindings working, or just the help one now?
No, I mean, nothing is working. Like, I know why. Oh gosh, I'm so stupid.
What happened?
This is so stupid. Shortcuts. Init toggle button. Shortcuts toggle. Shortcuts enabled. So, but wait, if you have shortcuts enabled, local storage usable, on change, enable shortcuts, disable shortcuts. So if I disable shortcuts, I disabled shortcuts via the shortcuts thing.
Yeah.
So I probably need to go into settings or something and
that little toggle button in the help menu.
Yep. This is stupid. Like storage, local storage, shortcuts disabled, delete shortcuts. Love it. Like, how would you enable it again if you don't know?
Yeah, is there a setting in like the?
Yeah, it works now.
Oh my God.
So I validated the thing that this actually works. Oh gosh, is that stupid? Okay, now the question is like, how do we close the thing ourselves, right?
Some shouting going on upstairs. What do you mean close the thing? You mean the modal?
Yeah.
Does the X button work there?
No, it doesn't.
Should we
just I mean, really stupid idea. Shortcuts help. X button area label, class data dismiss modal. I don't care about this stuff. Just be like type button, add click, close modal, and then we just do a close modal.
You want to make a method, not a computed property, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Like this, comma, methods, and we just do modal document query selector modal shortcuts. What, did I remove the class or something? Wait, document query selector is null?
That's
it worked. Needed to update. Okay. Oh wow, this is funny. We also need to do that same thing, essentially. Shortcuts. maybe not the most efficient way to do it. But yeah.
It gets the job done, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's for the shortcuts help, right? It's not like, hey, this needs to be like super whatever.
Some follow-up could be refactoring this to use GL Modal or something.
I don't know how hard it would be to use GL Modal. Okay, now it doesn't show anything at all. Maybe because it's reloading, but like GitLab UI GL Modal should be easy. GitLab UI GL Modal. GitLab UI base. This is like, now it's not doing, it's doing something. It just takes some time to render, huh? Yeah, probably because of the async import,
yeah,
right?
It's loading sync now.
But yeah, even then, it's like, hey, modal. Default, so open modal, opened modal. So basic, source code. So do we do just this? Yeah, probably like this, right? Like should be modal.
Yeah, how do you trigger opening the modal? We're not relying on the bootstrap code anymore, right?
Basically like we do it right now, but my question for the modal would be like, hey, how do we modal okay? We're deprecating okay. Modal footer slot. Modal footer. Yeah. I want this to be just like, what if I don't want to have a footer? Like.
Doesn't look like that was
Intention?
yeah, that was not a
Slots. It says we have slots like modal header and close. This is like really not well documented, I'd say. Do we need to look at the source? If you need to run, right? And we can end this. And
I can stick around for a little bit more. Do we want to do all this in one merge request, or should we just split it into two?
I think we can do it in one merge request.
All right.
Depends on the implementation, right? It's like, hey, oh, we have a modal header slot. And we have a modal footer slot.
Mm-hmm.
Vif. So if we don't give any actions,
yeah. So we're gonna have to just add a modal footer slot and make it empty or something.
Yeah. GL modal, right? Okay. So GL modal. Class modal. I think we probably can remove most of these. I'm just going to move that to a comment for now. I don't care about these. Okay, yeah. GL modal and modal dialog, modal large. So are there like properties that we can use for this? Like B modal. Modal
HTML and in the GitLab UI storybook documentation, maybe.
Like,
I don't know what Modal dialog is. Is that a custom class that we made?
I don't know. Also seems weird because like this is the whole, we probably can remove this one as well. Probably need to remove a closing div. And then modal content. This also seems wrong. Like modal content, modal header, right? So I assume that this is div class, no. So how do we do this? We do template, oh gosh. Modal content. So we do template and then modal header. Template, and then why is the other one a different slot? Like, okay, see what happens now. Tag template, okay. Missing required prop modal ID.
So we have it just set to ID. This has to be modal ID. You
Yes.
probably just remove the regular ID, right? I'm assuming that that's what this does, is pass it through.
Yes. Wait. Yeah, okay. Wait, what? Is it now taking too long to? Does it do anything? You know what we should do? We should file and follow up for someone to convert it to GitLab Modal.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks. I don't know, someone mentioned it before, I had this great idea, you know. So why is this complaining? StyleLint. StyleLint is complaining here because they want a new line after semicolon. Doesn't seem right for inline styles to me. Okay. Yes, so this otherwise wants to translate everything. We remove the modal shortcuts, right? Maybe, I don't know, I am proposing that we just call it differently. Like, what do you think about, okay, help pages spec. Okay, user uses shortcut spec. Oh, this is interesting. So this test will definitely fail. Can disable shortcuts from help menu. Modal shortcuts in DOM but hidden.
Yeah, I'm guessing there are going to be some. Well, I assume there would be some tests we would have to fix just based on this new implementation method. But...
So maybe like this, right? Expect page not to have modal shortcuts because, wait, open modal shortcuts still in DOM but hidden. Page refresh. Yeah. Wait, open modal shortcuts. Find body, send key. What is this testing? Can disable. Disabling shortcuts. Okay. Remove item. Okay. Open click toggle button. Close modal. Okay, so this is okay if we change this test, I believe. Because, yeah, I think if we change this test, it should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Why is it trying to, it's, yeah, okay. Cool. So the only thing that I've messed up is this button. And I have an easy idea to get the correct classes back. Class close. Maybe we should add that again. What's the correct for aria hidden?
I'm not sure. Might just be, well, yeah. Sometimes you can just include it without a value, and I think that defaults to true or something like that. Kind of like disabled.
Yeah. So we now could go and remove the shortcuts js.haml, right?
Yes.
And we can move and
You can remove all the console.logs that we added to.
shortcuts haml, right? We can remove this one.
Right.
Okay. Oh. Huh. This makes sense. Okay, let's see. Source tree. Okay, I think so this definitely makes sense. We are removing this. We fixed the spec. These logs don't matter to us. This all looks fine. This all looks fine as well. It's just like the,
So we have translation strings around the keyboard shortcuts now all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is not right. So this is right. This doesn't seem to be right, right?
Did you do another like global replace that I forgot about?
No, maybe I did some auto fixing with ESLint that, So this is definitely off as well. Like we can get rid of these. We don't want to translate single letters. Stage. Okay, these are all keyboard shortcuts. Discard. Oh, more shortcuts. Yeah, okay. All of these are shortcuts. Toggle help. Okay, so removing all of that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This we don't need. This we don't need. This makes sense. And here, this also makes sense. Okay. Right here. No, we don't want to change the YAML file. We just want to do this. This looks good. Oh, geez.
Oh, everything got indented.
Yeah.
You removed some wrapper element or something.
Yeah. ESLint. Yeah, I'm always running ESLint with fix which we don't want to do here, right?
Does that honor the ESLint disable comments?
Yes. But I think I added it after the fix.
Yeah.
So should probably be something like this. Let's run it again. Prettier. I don't want to do the stupid Hamel discard changes. And this. Okay, I think this looks good.
Add like YAML files to prettier ignore.
Yeah, it isn't prettier ignore. I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
I haven't looked at our prettier ignore in a while.
Yeah. So I think this looks good to me.
It's like YAML's not included in prettier ignore, but we probably should add it.
Yeah. We should use prettier for YAML as well. Because then at least we have consistent YAMLs. But that would mean that backend people. Yeah, I think this looks about right?
Yeah.
To be honest, like I'm a bit unhappy that we even use the GitLab icons here. I would just use like arrow ups from Unicode, because then at least it matches the style of, you know.
Is there a reason we can't?
No, the reason is I want this review to be purely front-end review, right?
Well,
Lipod, migrate keyboards, help to view. Modal shortcuts. I think the name is fine, right? Because I actually wanted to change the name, but yeah.
Good enough.
But how does one, like in the spec, so disabling from the help menu, open modal shortcut keys, re-enables shortcuts. How, what? Click toggle button. The thing is simply, how would one re-enable if the thing is not working?
Well, if the menu is already open, you can click the button again to toggle it open or on. But yeah, otherwise I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is a bit, copy.
Open modal from help menu. So maybe you can open it alternatively by just going to help.
Gotcha. So bin spring copy path. And this is something we can do while, bin spring aspect, right? And this is then something we can do git commit. Replace replace move keyboard help modal to view. Okay, thanks. Whatever.
There are enough changes that it's going to complain that you don't have multiple lines in your commit message.
Yes, I will write something. Currently, the keyboard. Keyboard shortcut modal is rendered via HAML and injected into the DOM via JavaScript eval. This is not good. This is rather inefficient, and might even introduce security vulnerabilities. Thus, we move the static to be a view component instead. Conditionally render view component instead. Ooh, we got problems. Okay, something failed. Ah, this is so helpless.
Too many SQL queries, it says.
Wait, user shortcut can disable shortcuts. Can disable shortcuts from help menu. Open modal shortcuts, close modal. Ah, this doesn't work, right? Wait, this is something we can do. So we do this, we disable it, we close it, we do this, nothing happens, right? Does it like throw an error or something?
Could be that it still exists in the DOM, even though you can't open it anymore.
I mean, with close, we actually should be removing it, but you're right. Let's just check that in the body, we don't have it anymore and doesn't look like it. So keyboard shortcuts, document query selector. What was it? Modal shortcuts?
That sounds right.
Okay. Remove it, close it, null. I mean, if that error, internal server error. Okay, so I think this thing was unrelated. This failure was maybe just because of startup, whatever, right? Okay, git mr.
Internal server error looks like the JavaScript console output. Can you scroll up a little bit? Maybe there was an actual error.
Yes.
Threshold exceeded error, maximum 100 query. Yeah, so that doesn't look related either.
No. Just trying it again. Oops, what did I do? Same error. I mean, let's see if CI is green or not, right?
Yeah. Oh, I need some coffee.
Yeah. Pretty. I think this doesn't need any screenshots because it's just the same, right?
Right.
So CC, who was here? Jivanil or David, Mike, reassign. Label, front end, maintenance, technical debt. I don't know performance, but yeah. Bup. Huh. So this is unfortunate. We actually introduced more code than we removed. Stupid auto formatting. I mean, yeah, obviously you already get double the lines with view because of the closing tags, right?
Right.
This is funny. This is like, yeah, okay. So this starts a search. That's interesting. Never knew about that shortcut. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, nice. Not what we wanted to do, but actually good work, I'd say. How was this actually working before? Did it really evaluate something? Yeah, global eval.
Rendered all the JavaScript in the Haml template, and then it would just use Axios to grab that and eval it.
Yeah, yeah.
That used to be how we would do the commit history that would appear in the main repository view too. We would just pull something and like eval from server side generated JavaScript, and it was, I think we've gotten rid of that now.
Okay.
That used to be everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, I will stop the recording and the share.